Ladies and gentlemen, Strat Gamer here, providing you with a new Anno 1800 episode. And today we are looking at two new modes, two very recent modes that are really good. On one side, we're gonna talk about gameplay, also beauty, and actual things, especially the second one that, in my opinion, should definitely be base game. So what are we talking about? We're going to actually talk about gas. I've talked about ways to make the electricity in the past. You obviously know the base way is with oil that you get from the old world and the new world, that you transform in a power plant. There is also gas in the Arctic, which many people hate. It's quite complex to get. You can't by default move the gas deposits and things like this, quite limited in the Arctic. Then there was a number of modes that have changed part of this. There was new ways to make electricity, for example, from burning wood, or also there was gas fracking, and now we come up with two new modes. The first one you can see on the here, you may be wondering what's happening. We're gonna discuss about that, don't worry. So the first one is from the amazing G1000, once again another mode that he made. Really happy about that, which is the gas work. And it's sort of a very, let's say, realistic mode, because first of all, that was the way gas was made in a lot of Europe at that point, which was by burning coal, as you can see here, coal. And secondly, because he tried to make it, he tried to not make it OP. He tried to make it, very similar to what it would cost or what it would produce in the Arctic, but actually it's just a new way to make it. So let's dive into that one first, but don't, if you know this mod, don't leave just now, because there is a second mod after that we're gonna look at. Before we dive in, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done so already, it's just one click and really does help a lot. The channel but also helps you know when new episodes come out. Okay, so diving into this one, if you are in the building sorting by type, you can find it here. Gaswork, two buildings that we're gonna dive into. The first one is called Gasworks, and the second the gasometer. You actually unlock them when you get one investor in the old world. So if you go here, you will find it also here. And of course, this is sort of in conjunction with this one, which is the gas-fired power plant. So you're going to need to use that gas to make electricity. But also in the skyscrapers, if you have unlocked skyscrapers, there are actually also other ways to use gas, so you may want it for that. Now diving into those two buildings, you can see this one says producing gas 9 minutes. That's huge, and that's what I was talking about around. It's not OP. He made it, it's sort of a realistic way in its based element. Can be improved by electricity, so you could already divide it by 2. It costs quite some money, costs some workforce. But there is also the gasometer here, where it says ornament, but it's actually not an ornament. I mean, it is an ornament in the sense that by itself it doesn't do anything, but it actually improves gasworks when it is in its vicinity. You can see the circle here, quite a small circle actually, and this is what you can see here. So if I delete it, for example, you'll see now it's not there anymore. But if I rebuild it, now this thing here came back with increased capacity, productivity plus 25. Also needs a bit more workforce, increases the maintenance costs, and as an attractiveness malus. So once again, it's not completely OP. But yeah, otherwise, just taking coal from a warehouse, producing it, and goes into gas. You can see 8 coal and 2 gas, because it actually takes 4 coal to make 1 gas. And yeah, it takes 9 minutes by default. Here, because I already have 1 gasometer, we are down to 7 minutes and 12. If we had electricity, once again, that will boost quite a lot. There is also, as you can see, I mean, obviously you can put several gasometers like I did here. You can also see here that there's different variation of it. There's actually 3, 1, 2, and 3. You can just press Shift V as always to change through those if you wish. But yeah, I wanted to show you a bit what this radius is. So obviously those two are quite in range, but then right away if you put a second next to it, it's not in range anymore. So this one is not working. Delete it. Those 4 are actually working, so that's great. Those 4 too. And similarly, this one is not in range anymore. And if I put it on the other side, I think it's the same. Just double check it. Yeah. So the max you can have is 10 or on 1. And if you don't have electricity, that will mean a 2 minutes and 34. That's basically the gas works and the gasometer, but wait, there are actually other things that can impact it. So the first one is if you go to your actually, where is it? Here. So it's, yeah, I forgot, it is workers. So you see it here, you can increase it by 50%. Of course, that will, as always, impact your happiness. But getting it, now we're down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And then the last element, there's actually a number of items that can affect it if you put in a trade union. So don't hesitate to use that. I won't give you exactly all of these, but in the description below, you can find the list of those items that will impact the gasometer and gas work. So that was the first one. Really love that. But once again, remember, this is not the first mod we've reviewed around the electricity. Don't hesitate to check out my channel or the description below if you want to see more. For example, very recently we looked at the a windmill to produce electricity just from the wind, so no raw material. That was pretty cool. But now we'll indeed move into the second mode, which here is completely linked to the Arctic. So let's dive into that one. Okay, for this second mode, we are in the Arctic. I've loaded a save with a lot of population, as you can see, almost 5.5 million. So the frame per seconds are terrible, but we will be able to make the point, no worries. We are in the Arctic on one of the plateaus. You may recognize it because all of the plateaus look the same for everybody, and in particular the gas deposits are always in the same place, which is why people have already sort of figured out what is the best way, and therefore most of the min-maxers at exactly the same Arctics, and that's mainly because also we can't move those gas deposits, so we need a lot of gas mines to actually cover them properly and to be able to clip them with Arctic lodges like this one. You can see this one is clipping this one and that one. And one thing that many people really complain about is not being able to move those gas deposits, since we are able to move the oil wells or springs in the old world, in the new world, thanks to the research institute. Why can't we do the same for the gas mines? Well, with these new modes by Starkey, published literally a few days ago while I'm recording this video, you can now do it. If you click on relocate, you will be able to relocate your gas mines, and therefore you can, if you want, put them all together around one gas mine, usually probably around one that will be clipped, but still around one you can put them all. 13, that will definitely fit there. Of course, when you get to 13, you may get a productivity so high that the storage will be filled too quickly, and therefore you'll have to just split them. But that's fine. I mean, at this point, that's a good problem to have, to split them, because you'll still be able to put it exactly where you want. So that means you can clip it easily, and you can build your all your other city around that. So that won't be a problem at all. So once again, I think this definitely, since we are able to move oil, why can't we move the gas too? That should be, for me, base game. I'm not saying this is not OP, this is of course OP, but moving oils is also OP and we can still do it. So anyway, that's the second one review today. Thank you, Starkey, for that one. Really great to see. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't hesitate to press the like button, it does help a lot. And hope to see you next time.